two opponents we're going to play, then we'll open it up for questions.
You know, obviously it's a challenging week, and it's here. As you can see around college basketball right now, you know, the matchups here in November are really intriguing, and I think we have, you know, two really good teams that we're going to go up against. Marquette first, veteran group, very skilled, as good of an offensive team as you'll see, challenged in a lot of different ways with their shooting and their pace. You know, Marcus Howard probably right now, I would say, is, if not the premier scoring guard in the country. He's going to be up there by the end of the season. And they have a slew of wings and just size, and they can come at you with a couple different lineups that really cause problems. So big test for us tomorrow night, especially for our young guys.
Mike, first question.
Just having a week like this right now, early November, is this something you're eager to kind of see how guys respond, get guys into this kind of situation?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to get prepared. I mean, when you look at the, you know, the remaining month of November, early December, with two conference games on the horizon, an ACC Big Ten Challenge road game at the end of the month. I mean, you're going to have to test yourself going into those games to know where you're really at and what you have to improve on. And that's the good thing. You play against a couple of unique styles this week as well that will help our guys, you know, experience those things down the line. So, you know, a true road game at Arkansas is going to be really a difficult environment. It's a difficult style to play against and prepare for. So we have, you know, early on, we're going to test our guys in terms of how we prepare and what we have to improve on rapidly to be good, you know, once we get down to just late December, early January.
Coach, you mentioned Marcus Howard, but obviously outside of him, what kind of challenges Marquette present?
Well, I think number one, they're very good in transition and they can really shoot the three. I mean, Marcus himself made over 100 last year at over 40%. Sam Hauser made close to 100 at almost 50% at 6'8". They bring in his younger brother, Joey, who's tremendously skilled in the front line. And then I think Kane shot over 40%. Annam's shooting. You know, good percentage. So they're a prolific shooting team. So it starts in transition with their ability to get to the basket with Howard, his ability to shoot, his ability to score, and then they spread you out in the half court with some great action and good players. I mean, they have a really good team. Like I said, I think last year they were in top maybe 15 in efficiency, and I think they'll be right up at the top this year in terms of offensive efficiency. They're a really tough team to handle.
To kind of follow up on Mike's question, not just in terms of maybe challenging your guys and really preparing them early, but also in terms of building a strong non-conference resume. Is this kind of the formula you want? I know some of this stuff is like the gag games and the Big Ten.
You know, they're built in. You know, those opportunities are built in, so you count on, you know, high major opponents. But you know, you look at our opportunity at Arkansas. You know, our hope would be at the end of non-conference that everyone looks at us and said, those guys tried like crazy to build a really tough resume, and I think we've done that.
With their three-point shooting, do you change some of the ways you approach your pack line defense for this one time?
No, you got to be really good at what you do, and it starts and stops, you know, really in transition defense and having floor balance and not giving up those easy threes, you know, the advanced pass up the floor threes or the trailer threes, or just, you know, you don't stop the ball early enough and the guy gets right to the three-point line and shoots it. So it starts in transition. In the half court, it's always going to come down to how hard we play on the ball. How good are we going to be on the ball? Off the ball positioning and being where you're supposed to be is the key to not give up threes. You know, usually when you're not in position, you're not disciplined, you know, typically you're out of position, you're going to react and you're going to run in and you're going to do things that aren't good. So your positioning is everything, you know, and being able to guard the ball is everything. Now, I will say that they'll probably for the first time, you know, in a long time have really challenged our staff and have challenged some of our ball screen coverages just on who's setting them and who's using them. It's a very unique team in those regards where, you know, they could have 5 3-point shooters on the floor at one time. And so those are the things that I think as a staff, we really just got to feel confident in how we communicate with our players, and we want them to be confident in the game with no confusion. So that's what we've worked on here the last couple of days, and we'll have another day today to prepare and also tomorrow to talk some more. But It's going to come down to, it's just, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to how hard are we willing to play, you know, in front of a great crowd. You got some young guys in there for the first time, and that high major feeling with, you know, 17,000 people in there, and those guys got to have to be, you know, third game in their college career, they're going to have to be more ready than we've ever asked somebody to be ready for. So it presents a lot of challenges. At the end of the day, though, you know, it challenges you as a staff and it challenges you as a team to continue to focus on the little things and be good at what you do.
With going against Marcus Howard, is there like one guy you say, okay, you got to be a stud tonight, you got to do something, or is it like going to be multiple guys on him in the pack line doing this thing?
Every perimeter guy, everybody on the team. It's always a team approach. It's always a team approach, but you know, individually when you're matched up on him, that's a tough deal. Now, I mean, you're going to have to be willing to understand he's going to make some tough ones. He's got a live dribble. He's got the ultimate green light. He's not going to stop attacking. He's a 40-minute guy, and you just have to be really tough-minded. And as we head into this one, you know, all of our perimeter guys are going to have to do a good job, but as a team, we're going to have to really be aware of where he's at and what he's doing. So it's going to put a lot of responsibility on some young guys in the game. It's going to put some responsibility on, you know, on all 5 guys really being detailed and understanding that, yeah, he's going to get some, but he's got to make it hard on him.
When you look at Arkansas and the way Gafford can dominate, what challenges does he present, and how big of a role can Deron play going up against him?
I haven't thought about him very much as of right now just because of Marquette, but I do know that he's probably the premier big guy in the country in terms of running to the rim. You know, his north-south 94-foot game is as good as it gets, and you know, him getting off of ball screens and getting to the rim and then finding him, that's something that's you know, obviously for all of our front court players, is going to be important to understand. But Deron hopefully can continue to keep going. We can continue to elevate his minutes. But just in terms of the pace of the play in the next 2 games, you know, he's going to really have to bust it.
Rob Fancy's a guy that's had kind of 2 different kinds of performances, I guess, over these first couple of games. Just maybe have you seen him build on those behind the scenes in practice? Have you seen him respond to those the way you'd like?
Oh yeah, Rob's been doing a nice job. He's gaining confidence, I think, with every opportunity. Like all freshmen, he's going to have those ups and downs and some plays that are good and some plays that are bad. But Rob's been very solid. I wouldn't say he's been a pleasant surprise, but we have confidence in him. I think he has confidence in himself. His teammates have confidence in him. And you know, it's a great opportunity for him on Wednesday to continue to build on it.
Has there been a diagnosis yet on Jerome?
Jerome's dealing with a lower leg condition, or I should say a leg condition. There's been no definitive answers yet, but he's going to be out an indefinite period of time. And we're hopeful here in the next 24 to 48 hours we can get a little bit more clarity.
Going back to Arkansas real quick, the way they press, the way they put the big guy up on the ball and try to make it really hard to get it inbounds, what are the challenges that they present, especially with statistically how good they are in their building?
Well, they're very difficult to play in their building, and their pressure is up, you know, in their building. We've had experience as a coaching staff playing against them in our time, and you have to really be organized in your press attack, and then you have to be really organized what you're going to do after you get it in and how you're going to play. You know, they'll play a lot of different styles where they'll switch 1 through 5 on the ball, they'll switch 1 through 5 off the ball. Their press will make it hard to get it in, and then once you cross half court, you have to be organized. It's not going to be one of those deals where you're going to be able, as a coach, to control the game, so to speak. They have to play. So, you know, in our time, in dealing with pressure, you know, we like to attack pressure, you know, but we have to be very smart on the road in getting it in. And then once it's in, then our guys have to have confidence that as we get into the half court, that you're able to function a little bit. But they make it hard on you. They make it a very difficult game.
With Zach and Devontae, do you have an idea of their availability for Wednesday night? And depending on that, I guess, who are some guys that you're expecting to count on to sort of raise their level of play if they can't go?
Well, Zach and Devontae are both, you know, game time decisions, I would think. They haven't done much since our last game. It's been slow recoveries. We're banged up in general right now, so it's going to put pressure on everyone. Like I said, Denise, Romeo, Rob, Al, you know, potentially, you know, a couple walk-on guys with minutes needed on the perimeter. Our front court guys got to hang in there and keep working at it. But until we can get all hands on deck, I mean, it definitely is concerning. But at the same time, you know, you control what you can control, which is the guys that are ready, and the guys that are available got to be ready to do a good job.
Coach, in terms of the guys who are available, obviously still managing Duran's minutes, but with the step up in competition, I guess, how do you see his minutes either changing or staying kind of the same, and just where do you feel like he's at right now?
I mean, he's got to push through right now. I mean, I think he's, you know, as the competition level goes up, he's a junior, he's got more experience. We have to try to find ways to get him in there for more and more short bursts. Part of it's staying out of foul trouble. But without question, you know, depending on how things are going in the game, you can see his minutes being elevated now from this point.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.